What it is, what it is, what it is. YouTube, you know who it is. It's your boy, the Moose. Let's kick it. Let's get into this. Okay. As I do this, each mascot and each band, I will leave a snippet of each group after I show you the picture and explain it. So don't give up on me. Listen to the band's songs and check them out. Now this is an era between now and the 70s. So this is the era of heavy metal. Now heavy metal has two forms. Heavy metal came out. It started dominating in the 80s. Well, there also came out death metal. And death metal was right along with it. So they were like side by side together. If you ever, back in the 80s, MTV would have at 11 o'clock, between 11 and 1 o'clock in the morning, they would have Headbangers Ball. And that's where a lot of bands got a chance to do justice. And that gave them the flavor. They also came out with different other things too. So MTV was like a big drive for a lot of these bands. And you got to see the faces of these guys. Just imagine you're watching MTV and all of a sudden Eddie pulls up. Yeah. Okay, so let's get in. We're not going to talk about that one. Let's get into this. The top 25 metal mascots. I love this. This is like the DJs love music. And that's why I'm talking about this. This manic music is just manic. And it's on a Wednesday, so we will do that. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Heartbeast. Heartbeast was cataclysmic, and Cataclysmic went on 15 years without a mascot, and then all of a sudden they come up with a mascot, which is okay. And in 2006 is when the mogul fixture ever since. So he basically came out in 2006. He showed up. They liked it so much they changed him down to the album for the next cover. Then we have Not Man by Anthrax. Now, he is the peculiar one for Anthrax. He really wasn't on a lot of Anthrax covers, but when he showed up, he showed up. Check out 80s and 90s, and you'll understand. Go through each one of these groups, different album covers. They are just amazing. If you want to, hit me up below, and we can go through the album covers of different groups. And I will touch on Iron Maiden, and I will touch on Megadeth, if you really want me to go on these Master of Metallica too. If you want to go through the album covers of those, let me know. Because this is what the influence of DJ was back in the 80s. They went on album covers. And a lot of people I know, me included, would wait for the next album cover to drop, because usually the album covers sold the music. Not the music. The album cover spoke 1,000 words. Okay, and then, now Samsung don't have an album cover. Then we come to Jesterhead by In Flames. And Jesterhead came out since 1996. The Jesterhead has graced a number of In the Flame album covers. And then we have Deathbat. And Deathbat is from Avenged Sevenfold. Now, I've seen Avenged Sevenfold since 2003, and they always have the Deathbat somewhere in the corner or whatever in the pictures. We're going to get into the most related ones here in a minute. And then we have this guy right here, Mad Butcher from Destruction. It's a German band. Go figure. He would run around on stage, apron, singing for Meat Cleaver. Sorry, it's a Meat Cleaver. And then we have this guy right here, Face Bones by Death Clock. Death Clock, Face Bones, it was a floating decaying head, and they jobbered it around the stage on the back of the stage. And it was on the screen. So he would come floating out in the middle of the screen, and he would float out everywhere. Now, he has changed too. He didn't stay the same. They had actually changed him a couple times. And then we have this guy right here. Who he is? As you can see, it says Metallica, Scary Guy. But if you notice Metallica at the beginning, they didn't have Scary Guy. The Scary Guy came out in 1992 when they did with Wimberly. Okay, and I'm going to mention this to you. If you're ever familiar with the album before Metallica Black, everything had color. Everything had color. Metallica changed. And it changed because they lost somebody. They lost the most reputable person that they could lose. They lost their bassist, Cliff. Cliff Burton was the mastermind. He was like, if you ever notice, the music changed when Cliff Burton died. Cliff Burton died in a wreck, right between and I think it was and Justice for All the Master of Puppets. I don't remember exactly where, but there was one song on Master of Puppets album that Cliff actually played, and then that was his last song that he played. So anyways, that's the iconic, created by James Hetfield, the front man. And then we have Zilla, the Devil Townsend. I'm really not familiar with him because I really didn't see any of his albums. But basically, he came out and he came to Earth to get coffee, and the coffee sucked. So he sent back his hordes to kill everybody. That's basically what that album was. This one right here. Okay, now we're going to get somewhere. Now, Glenn Danzig, well over his career, making a first appearance on Sam Hain's November Coming Fire, and again on this Dennis Danzig's debut. The first image was originally founded by the comic book series The Saga of Crystal, the Crystal Warrior. Though Crystal was retreated into hiding and hasn't been out since 1998, this skull is icons joined at Danzig's hip. Danzig was like, Mama! Like I said, I'm going to leave a clip of everything. Then Kilgore, Vilvodad's logo was created by multiple people, multiple times across because he changed. He didn't stay the same. But anyway, let's get into we're getting into the majors here. Now this is Knucklehead from Five Finger Death Punch. Now, Five Finger Death Punch started also having reverse to the diehard fans in the group, extending the reaches of figures. The signature feature is the red hand stamped across the face with the bulk of the palm covering one eye, and the thumb hovering just over the eye. Here, Knucklehead is affirmed with a gas mask, extending the five-finger beckon fans to join him. And then we have Quiet Riot, the Mask, the man in the iron mask, and he's been all over. Basically, Iron Maiden's used him a lot. Now, Mental Health is when they used him. Sorry, Mental Health, first metal record, the first metal record of the top 200 Billboard. Sorry, I can't speak. The 200 charts. So he was basically that. And then Set a Barrow by Iced Earth. Now, Iced Earth came out with their Something Wicked That Way Comes, This Way Cometh. And this is in 1998 when they came in, and basically the second race annihilated by space-faring humans. The survivor brainwashed mankind and set abominative and staged revenge of 10,000 years following this event. And then we have Sergeant D from the Stormtroopers of Death. The Stormtroopers of Death are pretty good. They had a really good Scott Land's doodle from the Sergeant D became the largest in life when he assembled the Stormtroopers of Death. Sergeant D was sketched as one of the outlets of brash, tongue-in-cheek statements in which Ian began writing lyrical snippets, bawling the head with group release, Speak English or Die. And then the Atlantic Mirror. Atlantic Mirror, it's Henry, the Fallen Angel from Black Sabbath. Now, Black Sabbath's relationship with the mascot Henry, aka Fallen Angel, has been tough to go on, as the wing feature made sabbatic, apocalyptic appearances throughout the band's history. The first that's made an appearance dates back from the shirts of 76 and 77. So a lot of these bands, they might not have these characters on their album, but guess what? They had them on their shirts. So a lot of these bands, that's where they sold their albums. They sold their album covers on shirts. Master of Puppets, a big one. Master of Puppets, and then there was a bunch of them. But as we're going to get into Black Sabbath had a lot of covers too. But Black Sabbath was like Ozzy's kick-in, and then as well as known as the Dio years, competitions of 1998. Now Dio is going to come back. Dio has his own band too, but Dio came back to help Black Sabbath out. Now Ozzy Osbourne started as the front man, but he left to do his own stuff, and he would come back time to time with Black Sabbath. He wasn't at the beginning, he was a regular fixture, but then later on, he toured out to his own and came back to Black Sabbath. So he was in and out of Black Sabbath. So, and you won't see Ozzy Osbourne on here. I'm sorry.
Smells like
Critters of Sodom. Basically, it's Sodom is the metal mascot. He's the toughest career when the German trash icon made iconic switch from the occult to the warfare of society. They adopted the mascot on the President's Mania, the gas man-clad figure in the constant stare of violence, going to war on Agent Orange, carried a death glostal soldier on an M16, and finally got some revenge on the ectonym of torture. Agent Orange killed a lot of vets when they came back from Vietnam, and that is reality of it. So if you ever hear somebody say Agent Orange, you get into it. I'm not going to get into it because it's really, really just nasty. Okay, so let's get into this. Child of Overkill. Now, Overkill's logo changed to wing bat would frequently change. Started his imagery in 1988 under the influence of strong shooting green laser beams and covers, and he made a lot different scenes coming in, doing different poses, kind of like what Eddie and then this is Roy, the Children of Bodom. The Children of Bodom used a Grim Reaper, and basically he would come into the different albums at different times. He didn't stay there. He came in and came out. And then we got The Violent Mind by Creator. creator's mascot was a Violent Mind, is a disemboweled, floating head, exuberant, sinister gaze, and basically Come for Souls in 1990. So that's basically his first album appearance. And then we have this guy. The Guy by Disturbed. Now he's number 6 for a reason, because they had him for a long time too. Disturbed had him on The Guy. You don't need to have a fancy name when you're a mortal being that can fly to space and back to Earth in a matter of seconds, incapable of being destroyed. The Guy is Disturbed's music professional, a soldier of powerhouse that can't be stopped. So basically, he was on pretty much a lot of albums. Now this guy changed. Now this guy right here is pretty interesting. Jack O'Lantern from Helloween. Now Helloween was churned up some of the most esteemed power metal records in history. One of the constants had been the band's cheeked sense of humor. Bass personalized their beloved pumpkin mascot Jack O'Lantern. His head typically represents the O in Halloween, but occasionally gets cast in particular roles and given full body. Jack O'Lantern has become the fixture engaged in this against the combat and has topped the Statue of Liberty along his 30-plus year ride. Murray from Dio. Now Dio, like I said, Dio came in later as the frontman for Black Sabbath. So Dio has his history. Dio is long before the dawn of man. The Macromas and Cyclops that Macaulay and Rumor adapted to have his sons murdered in fear of false prophecy. One escaped Malarus, his mother gave him a sleepy potion and wait everything out, and then awoke nearly a trillion years later. Wow, he's old. Nicknaming him Murray. Dio's friendship and the monster led to appearances on albums like the legendary Holy Diver and the last line of the Dream Evil. And then we have Snaggletooth by Motorhead. Now Motorhead debuted, this Snaggletooth debuted in 1977 on Motorhead's first album and made immediately and lasting impact on various mascot, made it clear just what type of band you were dealing with. Representing a rough exterior, Motorhead had a shade graces just as every album and group released. Snaggletooth's mug is plastered all over the band's merchandise and has become a significance of what band as Lemmy Kilmister's Great Tone Snarl. Now, Vic Rattlehead. The ones you're probably going to be familiar with are these next two, Vic Rattlehead and Megadeth. Now, Megadeth Vic Rattlehead is one of the most beloved mascots in heavy metal. The lower ornament of hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. His fixture has become an outfit of riveted visor over his ears, and his eyes, hooked, screwed through his mouth shut, and mental plugs have been fastened to his ears. In other industries, it's been tough to get a job looking like this, but Vic fits the mold of Megadeth's appearance and standouts such as Killing versus My Business is Good, Peace Sells but Who is Buying, Rust in Peace, and more. And if you get the song, Feeling Paranoid, Feeling Prospering, Anxiety, Sweating Bullets. You get that song, you can't go wrong. When you're dealing with a heavy metal crowd, these are I'm going to give you 25 songs at the end of this video the 25 songs that you need. I will just post it on the screen from each one of these bands. I'm not going to go in and do snippets. If you want snippets, hit me down below and I'll do the band exactly. Okay, so Eddie Iron Maiden. Do you really expect any other mascot to claim the top spot? Now, Iron Eddie, the head, is subsequently the most recognizable feature of heavy metal, ironically. Over the band's 40-plus years run, his humble beginnings started on Cobalt Mask, which have seen him in numerous shapes and forms. He's puppeteered the devil, being looked away in a straitjacket, was immortalized by a stone of an Egypt ruler, went to the future, became entangled in a tree, rested in a laboratory, resigned over the sky and the clouds, and had his heart ripped out in the Mayan jungle, and keeps coming back for more. And so do we. Now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Now, remember, like I said, I'll leave all the description below of every single band on here. Now, a lot of them you probably never heard of, and then there probably are. A lot of them you heard of. A lot of them on the radio. Dio, like Sabbath, Megadeth, and Iron Maiden, and all the older stuff. Ozzy Osbourne, and so on, so on, so on. So, I'm glad you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Follow what these guys got to say, and peace. I like it. Leave a comment below. Caring and sharing. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook.